Hi guys, so this is the recap video from this morning's fiber trades. I had a couple of longs and then I took a short. Let me just pull this up and I can show you. Right, so hopefully you can see this. This was my first long positions. I added one here and I scaled one in here, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then we went short as well, which again I'll talk about. Right, so this morning I got up, I looked at the daily chart and you can see this nice value area low here, which was my area of interest. However, it wasn't always the case. I'll show you why. Because this is yesterday's profile, okay? So this whole profile here. And I saw us open at this value area high in Asia, with auctioned on down. And then you can see here, there's nothing. We auctioned down below yesterday's point of control, both the market profile and the volume profile. And we stalled just here. And I was like, well, that's a bit odd. I can't see any reason why. And obviously we come back and retested it. So straight away, I was like, that seems a bit odd. And then I started looking at the profile. And I was like, do you know what? This profile, just this bit here, looks like an even distribution. And then obviously we've got the single print. So I was like, I'm going to treat this profile differently. So what I did was, if I'm able to do it now, I wanted to see what it looked like split. So I split the profile. And then we got value area low over market profile, and a couple of pips below, if you can see that, we've got the volume profile value area low. So I drew that out and I was like, wow, lo and behold, look, the market makers are respecting that level there. So I was like, a lot of people would have been shorting using profiles thinking with below POC expectation auction market theory is to reach the other side of value, which would have been, let me just undo the splits again, or the single prints they could have been going for. So people studying general auction market theory using profiles would have been thinking we could have auctioned down, come up, retested the point of control, and then drop down further towards probably this single print, let's be honest, before they reach this value area low, although expectation is usually to reach the other side of value. So that's what a lot of people probably would have been doing, trying to sell, thinking we're going to get lower. However, I did think it was a bit odd. So I then, obviously, as I say, didn't do that. Try it again. Didn't do that. Third time lucky. That's where it's important to get your that's still not right, but let me cut close up and actually see what I'm doing. That's what I did. Right, so that was what I did to get my even distribution. Detach basically this part of the profile with this tail. So that was that idea. So I was thinking we're respecting this value area low. I then came on to the morning chart because it was coming into Frankfurt open. I noticed we opened on this value area high. We got a little volume POC there. So straight away, oh, and also I should hasten to add that obviously value migration is up. We're kind of trending upwards, you could say. And we opened and we didn't break below the value area, if you like, with my split profile. So I'm still looking for longs at this point, or expectation is for longs. Back onto the morning one. So we opened at this value area high. and I could see some value building. So I just drew a little box around, well, we'll call it consolidation if you want, but it's where the higher time frame investors, the market makers, will no doubt add into their orders with intention of moving the market higher. So we're building value, just you could kind of say just above value area high of my custom morning chart. So again, more confluence there that we're looking for longs. I looked on the footprint. I think I looked on the 5 minute first of all. Let's set the 5 minute. And yeah, looking at all this here, which is say from 6 o'clock onwards, doesn't really give you any clues, does it? I mean, you've got the occasional buy side delta, but it just looks a bit too much going on, too much noise. So I was like, well, I'll scrap that idea. I'll have a look at the Renko instead. So this is the Renko. And then I could see before 7 o'clock. Previously, so this is 6 o'clock, in this area here, which lasted about a minute, you could see there's loads of buying coming in, loads of buy side delta and loads of volume. And again, loads of buy side delta, loads of volume. We're now at 650, and then 7 o'clock, and then 7:01 again, loads of buy side delta. So I was just looking at these numbers, and I could see, well, previously there's not so much selling going on, but there's a hell of a lot of buying going on throughout the latter half of Asia coming into Frankfurt Open. So that was all I had for confluence. And again, you can see buy side delta, buy side delta, buy side delta. So that was giving me confluence on the footprint that, you know, we could be seeing a lot of orders being added with a buy side delta to get long. So that was the only confluence I had on that. I mean, it's not the best really, but it's all I had to go by. So that's all I could take. And as you can see, and then started screaming upwards. So that's all I had on the footprint, and I used the Renko. So if you've been a conservative trader, you could have drew your little box there, waited for breakout of the box either direction, and possibly wait for a Renko brick confirmation and then get in like that if you're not too keen on using Renko, using the footprint charts. However, I just put a long in. I think it was here because I'd seen also on the VWAP chart, I could see coming into London Open, all this buy side delta with the turquoise color candle. So that was enough confluence that there was a lot of buyers coming into the market there. And obviously my bias was already long from looking at the daily profile and the custom morning profile. And I'd seen obviously the Renko with buyers building over a bit of a range. And then obviously this candle where it just was, you know, the extra clue I was looking for to get long, excuse I was looking for, I should say, to get long. So I then got long. We then auctioned on up, pulled back to this previous month's VWAP. So I was looking at the previous month's VWAP, got the Midas VWAP, a couple of pips below that, and the daily. So quite a lot of VWAPs all in one place. We pulled back to it. As soon as I started to see it starting to reject, which I think was from, let me pull the daily back up. I think it was from this yesterday's, sorry, from the value area high here from yesterday. Yeah, so we pulled back from there. As soon as I started to see rejection, I was like, we're definitely going to break out. So I added another position, which I can show you again on here. which was here on the pullback, as you can see. Then we got a little buying tail come in. I then added the position, and that's where we screamed up. And then obviously you can see straight away, I closed this position out. So my scaled in position, I closed out at this single print on the daily. And then I left this one running. So we auctioned down, I added here, auctioned up, I just closed out here, didn't wait for any confirmations, I just closed that added in position here, and then this left this one running. And then obviously we came up to, on the custom morning chart, this single print area, which was my area of interest. I'll tell you why. I had extra confluence to be getting out of my remaining long position at this area. So I closed it out here. And the reason why was because I was looking at the weekly. And you can see here, we've got high volume node, and a low volume node. So we've got a nice area of distribution there. So I drew out an area of interest here where we could see a reaction from. Not necessarily a major reversal, because obviously I'm long in the market. Remember, my bias is long, but I thought we could see a pullback reversal from here, if you want to call it that, or reaction. Let's just call it a reaction from here. So I drew out this area, and obviously we traded up into it, and looks like we rejected just above this low volume node here within my area of supply. And that's where we then pulled back. So that was where I took my profits in the remaining long position. And then obviously added short positions. As you can see, I then went short, and I'll show you this. And short here, after seeing exhaustion on the footprint, and also seeing us starting to see sellers step in. And I took profits on the short just after I took this screenshot back at Midas VWAP. So that's where I closed all my positions out, like I always do, my first point of resistance. I mean, if I hadn't made so much money on the longs, I might have held a position as a runner like I normally do, but I just wanted to get out at this point because I was thinking somewhere around here, we could see us pop back up again. Which is possibly what we're doing now. We're building a bit of value here, so we might pop back up, but whatever. So yeah, so went long from here, added a position here, closed out day VWAP here, closed out the second position here, saw some distribution and exhaustion on the footprint. Let's see if I can. Guessing that was where it was. Yeah, that must be where it was. So yeah, we had loads of volume, 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 buy side delta, loads of buy side delta coming into the area of interest up until where that single print was on my custom morning chart. Loads of buy side delta, loads of buy side delta, and then this candle, that something's happened here. And you can also see as well, I noticed this, by the way, coming into this area, we were bouncing up and down here. And look, there's a lot here of point of controls where most volume was taking place in this area, pretty much in a straight line there, and some really big numbers. And I was thinking, this is probably going to be those longs liquidating their positions, taking profits, unwinding, starting to profit take. And then we drifted up just a little bit higher, probably got some trap buyers, breakout, trying to get long at the same time. And you can see there's just a lack of interest to break any higher from this level. So as soon as I started to see that happening, I put a position in, then added some more positions on the way back down. And as you can see, then started increasing in delta, increasing in sell side delta. And then we started auctioning back down. And I think I closed out somewhere around about here, I think it was. And then we've ducked just down into VWAP. Now we started to, we're still in a bit of a range now, actually, looking at that. So that was the reasons why I went and got short. So I had this custom morning single print. Honestly, without these custom charts, I would find it a lot harder because just trying to find levels. Whereas you can build extra confluences when you start putting all the TPOs together, and like the weekly, as I say, with the daily, we've got the custom morning chart. When you put them all together, you can help sort of build a better foundation, a better market map as to what could be happening, where you could see reactions. And then you can use obviously the VWAP chart with the Renkos and the VWAPs, and also the footprint chart to help with your confluences for entering a position. So I think that's pretty much all I can discuss really on this one now. But the main points were really, when you see distributions like that and you see, going back to this daily, I'll show you again, just so you know, because not many people do this. Sorry. Right, so yesterday's profile was like that. And you can see a nice distribution. And then I saw a stall just below here, and I couldn't work out logically why on this profile. And I thought, do you know what? We're going to treat this differently because we've got a single print area coming into this even distribution. So it was more of a case of I'll just try it and see if it fitted, if the glove fits and all that, if the shoe fits. Bit of a Cinderella moment and all that. And then we've got the volume value area low there, and we've got the market profile value area low there. Drew that little box out, and I was like, we've got to be referencing that area there. They have to be. And so that was the first part. And then obviously we went and added the well, we tried to add the yeah, and then so yeah, that was the first part of the puzzle. Then I could see we're building value just around about this value area high of a custom morning chart. And so that gave me extra confluence. And then obviously I used the Renko chart to see the previous hour and a half. Generally, there was more buyers in the market than sellers. And I was like, although looking at the 5-minute footprint, you couldn't really tell that. Looking at the Renko footprint, you could. So that was a bit more confluence for me. And then, as I say, the last piece of the puzzle was looking at the VWAP chart and seeing us build value here, and then the blue, I think it was on about London Open, the turquoise blue Renko there with showing in that period there was a high buy side delta. So that was just another confirmation for me to get long. And then, as I say, I scrolled in another position here, and then yeah, you know where I took profits in that, and when I shorted from up here, you can see there was a lot of selling coming in the area from this delta profile. So yeah, I think that's all I've got to say on this one. Hopefully I'm not mumbled on too much, and hopefully you've got the gist of what I'm saying and how useful it can be to split profiles on occasion. I don't do it all the time, but only now and then. And if I'm a bit stuck on a position, looking at it logically and thinking, well, why is that doing that? You can always try and split a profile or merge profiles to see if there's a logical reason why it could be reacting from an area otherwise unknown about. So I hope that helps, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers, guys.